All right, so the next strategy we are going to talk about is adding and subtracting using base 10 blocks. Now, I know this can be a little difficult because students are used to having real base 10 blocks in their hands and being able to touch them and move them and build numbers. So we want to make sure that we are using the cutout manipulatives in our manipulatives packet or drawing the numbers using base 10 blocks. Which can work just as well. So I'm going to show you by drawing the base 10 blocks to represent my numbers and then subtract and add them. Okay, so I'm going to start by adding together the numbers 481 plus 72. This is the same problem I solved using place value. So we know the answer and we're paying really, really close attention to how we're using now a different strategy to get that same answer, because no matter what strategy we use, we should always get the same answer. Okay, and using more than one strategy is a great way to check your work. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to build 481. Okay, let me use a different color. All right. So I have 4 in the hundreds place. So I have 4 hundreds. One of these squares represents 100, so I have 4 hundreds all together. I have 8 in the tens place. And one of these represents a 10. So I'm going to make 8, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80. Okay, so 480, and I have 1 in the ones place. We're just going to use a little dot for a 1, so 481, okay? Now we are going to build the number we need to add onto it. Okay. So 7 in my tens place. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, or 7 tens. And then I have 2 in the ones place. So 1, 2. Okay. Now when I'm adding, it's really easy to just draw the numbers, and then what you need to do to solve is just count up how many you have in all. Okay. So this is kind of similar to place value because we draw the numbers based on their place value. So I can say I have 100, 200, 300, 400. Okay, I counted all my hundreds. Now I'm going to count my tens. I'm going to say, okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. Okay, so now I'm going to say that my 10 tens that I've counted give me 100. I can also trade how I draw those. So if I wanted to take my 10 tens and draw it as another 100, I could. But now I know that I have 500, but I still have more to count. So I have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I have 50 or 5 in the tens place. And then I'm going to count my ones. 1, 2, 3. And then as a final answer, I'm going to get 500 plus 50 plus 3, or 553. Okay, and that is the same answer that I got when adding by place value, so that's great, and that's a fantastic way to check your work. So go ahead and solve the problems on the next side by drawing and adding the base 10 blocks.